Hey, what's up? Well, I'm making another video already. I don't know if it's soon, but I will definitely have to schedule this one for a slightly more futuristic date, though I think a little bit of time has passed, because I don't want them too close together. But one thing that's really frustrating about these videos is a very disturbing thing that I've noticed is how my chapters are deliberately being made not to work. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, it's normal in the beginning, from my experience, for chapters not to be like when you chapter your videos, you put timestamps and what you were talking about, because as long as these things are, I want them to be broken up a little bit. Well, it's normal in the beginning that they all have the same thumbnail, which is your main video thumbnail. But mine are just not working all together. I don't know who's doing that, but it's almost like, they'll start out working just fine, but then the minute I post them, they stop working, or, the minute I notice that they've gone public, it's like the chapters are not working and they never do. I don't know why they've started doing that with more and more of my videos, but I really don't like it. Okay, whoever's doing it, yeah, I wish I understood why they're doing it, and they need to stop it. Okay, and it just really makes me mad. They just decided that I'm not going to have chapters on my videos, and they're not going to work at all. Because some of them take forever to get individual thumbnails for each chapter, and sometimes they're the strangest thing. Like, I never could have predicted that that would be the thumbnail for that chapter. So anyway, enough about my videos. What I like to talk about in this video, well, as much as I swore against buying another Honey Hill doll, I just can't stop, but hopefully I will. Okay, I ordered yet another doll, and I'm only showing the back for obvious reasons. It came in this pretty mint green envelope, and let's see, I'm wearing my shirt that says Bushels of Love, because it's just too hot to wear anything with long sleeves. But the thing about this doll, okay, so I have all 7 colors of the rainbow, and that should have been completion, okay, because I think that's the original Honey Hill Bunch series from the 70s. The original, I think, 75 series had like 4 girls and 3 boys, which, people debate to this day, about which ones are boys, because they want to say that they're all girls, because they all have kind of longish hair. But believe me, I know which ones were different from the girls. And so, I would have 3 boys and 4 girls and an odd number. Okay, so it's almost half boys. But you know me, I wanted an 8th one that will be represented by a non-rainbow color. And, that should be my final one. There was one, that I really wanted. There's actually more than this one that I had considered, but this is the one that I thought I would get the best deal on, and it's very complex as to which one I bought and why. So without further ado, I'm going to open this one, and as you can imagine what gender I think of it as being, or would like to think of it as being. And so this mint green envelope goes nicely with my collection of colorful envelopes associated with these dolls. Here's the pink factor, that was a girl. The blue factor was Hugo, or Solo, which I don't know how people can say he's a girl. And this was Sammy, the blonde guy. So I can add mint green to, and of course there was the white box. But this one, this should be my last and final one. It's in a box as well as a package. Number 8. And the heart color for this character is brown. Okay, this is my brown heart, number 8. And I want this one to be the last one I ever get. And the reason the brown heart represents this one is because it is a brown baby. And I debated on, several of them that I could have gotten instead, but this one was cheaper. I was made an offer, which is hard to resist. And it says 1975. Well, this one was not pictured with the other kids in the clubhouse, which, looking back, I guess that's kind of racist. Or I think this may have been an afterthought. Maybe someone complained and they added this character. But this one is named Curly Q. And, I'm sure it's intended to be a girl, based on the eyelashes. Even though the hair is shorter than some of the boys. But Curly Q, I'm going to call it Curly Quinn, which technically is unisex. That can be a boy or a girl, like so many of the other names. And this one is very special to me because I don't know if it was intended to be this way from the beginning, or if the hair changes color or something over the years, if it faded. But this is a black kid with red hair. And that looks very unique to me. Almost like an Aborigine as opposed to a African American. And I just really like this character. It's one of the few brown-eyed characters, but I want to think of it as a boy. Originally this doll was supposed to have a floral dress. Well, guess what? It has been removed from this as well as many other Curly Q dolls, the floral dress. And when you remove that, guess what you're left with? A blue shirt and blue leggings or pants. So I see this as a little black boy. And I want to call him Quinn, Curly Quinn. And I like how, unlike with Hugo or Solo, the hands are brown like the face. So the brown heart represents this one. So that's number 8 and 4th boy. Okay, so, it just really makes me mad how the black character, I don't know what it is, but when they add a black character, it always seems to be a black girl. It's like, what about being black is feminine? I do not know. But, I like the thought of, the Asian character being a girl and the black character and Hispanic character being boys. So the boys would dominate the extreme of melanin levels. 2 blonde boys and 2 brown boys. 2 of the brown-eyed kids would be boys. With only 1 Asian girl. So, not only does this represent, the black boy, this represents the red or brown-haired boy, because red or brown hair is what the doll has. And the only other dolls that I had considered, but of course they were a lot harder to acquire and more expensive, were the red-haired, blue-eyed boy named Hayseed. And he's kind of like a country boy in overalls with a red shirt that had stars on it instead of flowers. See, that's how you knew he was a boy. The stars instead of flowers. So his name was Hayseed. And he kind of looked like the Slugger doll, the baseball girl, only with blue eyes and a cowboy outfit and slightly shorter hair. So basically her face made into a boy. And then there was another one that was slightly more expensive than this one, was a white boy with brown hair and green eyes and brown pants and a white shirt. And his name was Richie. He was supposed to be a Baskin and Robbins. See, that's what really makes me mad. It's like boy dolls, because they don't sell, which I think is bull. I think they would, if if they would make more boy dolls, they may not sell as rapidly as girl dolls, but I guarantee you there's somebody would buy them, myself included. So they don't make as many boy dolls because they don't sell. Well, the reality is it's because of parents. You know, I mean, yes, you will get no argument out of me, as I've stated before. You know, I am not suggesting that boys should be given dolls and be taught to play with dolls, okay? I would never think that boy dolls should be for little boys, okay? But I myself, as a former little girl, have always wondered why other little girls were not requesting boy dolls. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't little girls asking for boy dolls? You know, why are they so content to have a collection that is most or all girls? You know what I'm saying? And if it would bother them to have at least a few boy dolls, you know, who put that in their head that boy dolls are bad? So, because I don't ever remember feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? As I stated before, if there were, you know, a dozen dolls, the one out of a dozen that was a boy is the one that I always wanted. You know, why aren't there other little girls saying, like, all I want for Christmas is one of the few male Cabbage Patch dolls, like I did in 1989. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't start to hate boys until I got older and realized that they could get me pregnant. And now that they can't, you know, it's very hard to readjust mentally to that. So anyway, you know, it just, you know, it just really makes me mad. It's like, you know, they don't make enough boy dolls. But what few boy dolls, it's like they'll start out a series and they might have one or two boy dolls. And they notice that they don't sell as rapidly as the girl dolls. And so they decide to cut back on them and make it to where what few boy dolls they make from then on are either repeats of ones they've already made, or they put them in a set where you have to buy a girl doll with a boy doll. You know what I'm saying? So they had this pair of dolls. It was the Baskin Robbins pair. And it was Bunny Baskin and Richie Robbins. And they were both wearing brown pants or leggings and a white shirt, like a Baskin Robbins worker. And they had an ice cream cone, like they were serving ice cream. And Bunny Baskin was a blonde, blue-eyed doll with a smile. Richie Robbins was freckle-faced, brown hair, green-eyed. And so they were a set, and they even had hats and everything. And so there was a loose Richie doll, you know, and I thought about buying him, but then you know what? Because he was meant to go with Bunny, and it was around Easter time, I thought about how I just wouldn't feel right, you know what I'm saying? As much as I like to have as many boys as girls, you know, I wouldn't feel good about having Richie, but not Bunny. And I'd always remember that name because it was around Easter when I bought these dolls. And so I wouldn't like that, you know, that'd be almost like having, if you decided that because you have so many girl dolls, well, I'm only going to buy a Chelsea boy doll and no Chelsea, or a Tommy doll and no Kelly. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean Tommy and Rugrats. You know, it just wouldn't feel right. It's like if you had a whole bunch of knockoff Barbies and you decided to buy only Ken and not a real Barbie, you know, because he's already outnumbered by all the knockoff Barbies. So, you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't like that, and I wouldn't like the lack of accessories and hats, and, you know, it just wouldn't be worthwhile to me. And I already have, you know, a freckle-faced white boy character named Sam, and I already have the dark-haired Hugo, the Hispanic-looking boy, and I already have, you know, the doll named Patty, you know, the baseball girl that has pretty much a similar coloration to what he would have had. So, you know, I just don't feel like that would have improved my collection, you know, because I would have still wanted to have Bunny, the girl doll. And, you know, another thing is I already bought a doll that was too expensive named Ricky that's very similar. the playground kids not long ago, like about a month ago. So, you know, I feel like I've already spent too much on dark hair, light-eyed male dolls whose name is basically Richard. Um, so, you know, it just it just wouldn't be worth it. You know, it wouldn't make me feel better to have a Ricky or Richie, because that's probably where they got the idea for the name. You know, they're not very original. That's the other thing about boy dolls, is that girl dolls, you know, they have all kinds of strange names that don't really make any sense sometimes. But then the boy dolls just tend to have names that are very plain and generic. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of the plainest names that you could ever think of at that time. So, you know, that's enough about the dolls. This is Curly Quinn, you know, because I think that the black character should be a boy for a change. You know, unlike yeah, why does it always have to be a girl? You know, the one black character, they always make it a girl. You know, like Susie on Rugrats, and Cindy and Libby. Yeah, that's right. Libby is the black girl. But you know, just I don't know what it is. It's like they like to make the token black character a girl, and I don't like it, you know, because there's really nothing feminine about being black. You know, if anything, you know, when I think of black culture and all that, I think of black basketball players and rappers, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's why they like to make it a girl, because they don't, you know, white men are intimidated by black or non-white masculinity, if you know what I mean. You know, they don't even like to, well, unless it's like an all-black show or something, you know, if there's one black character on a white show or in a white group, you know, they want it to be a girl so that, you know, men won't feel intimidated by him somehow. And because they think that black families are even less likely to buy boy dolls than white families. So anyway, enough about the dolls. There's Curly Quinn. And basically what I want to end with is something that could go under ASMR, you know, if I wanted to make those kinds of videos. And right now I'm refilling my flings, my gain flings. I like to put them in this because I find it much easier than opening those stupid child-proof containers. See how some stupid internet people just had to ruin that for everybody. You know, they had to make these so hard to get into. You know, even though it was really young men and not children that were eating them, you know. Why men have to be so stupid. I do not understand, you know, why they have to put themselves and others in danger like that. But yet playing with a doll is going to destroy them when they're little. I do not understand. So in this video, what I'm going to do is unbox this. If I could ever get it to open. And I'm going to, before I can do my laundry, I'm going to put all of my flings in this little thing, which rhymes. So, I'm going to, one by one, start them out, and hopefully they'll start to fall. So, if they would ever come out, see, sometimes I just have to tear up the package a little bit. So there we have it, a brand new container of gain pots. And I'm going to screw the lid on so that it's still technically childproof, you know. It's a little easier to get in. It's easier to get into, but it's still childproof, and it's still technically a gain pod container. It isn't like I'm putting it in some glass jar, you know, it's not meant for that. So, just want to talk about that, about, the dolls and how, as I stated before, I just do not understand, what they have against boy dolls and why they're practically hidden in various ways. It's like the ingredients to make them has always been there. As long as there are girl dolls, there will always be boy dolls of sorts. And that's what I've stated before. I was yelled at pretty badly for saying that as a teenager, that they don't have to expressively make boy dolls in a series for boy dolls to exist. um because I mean, really, what is a boy doll but a girl with short hair and less feminine clothing? You know what I'm saying? So as long as there are girl dolls, I mean, boy dolls can and will be made, or makeshift boy dolls can be fashioned out of girl dolls. And of course, with Barbie, there's Ken, and while not as um, easy to find as some type of Barbie doll, I mean, he exists. So if you need an adult male doll, he's there. But the harder ones to find are like little boy dolls and younger boy dolls. But, as long as there are girls in a size and they're not too large breasted, I mean, you can make some sort of a boy doll out of them. And I got in serious trouble, when I was younger, for stating this and also putting it into action by actually making them. But, I just never understood that, why, what they have against boy dolls, especially younger boy dolls existing. I mean, I know they're not going to have genitals, nor should they. And really, they shouldn't even have bodies that can go naked. They should have some type of undergarment that's always on their body. So, but I don't know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if, I have no problem with boys being raised not to play with dolls. Like if people, if people want to raise their sons, to dress like a superhero every day until they're 8 or something, and have a superhero birthday every year with not even a trace of pink on the cake, no pink confetti, no girls on the cake. I mean, I don't really care. If they want to raise boys like that, so what? But why girls are not allowed to have male dolls, especially, male dolls in their age group or younger, I'll never understand. I'll never see the harm in, just having younger boy dolls, whether they're manufactured or homemade. And I will always like to have them.